Okay, imagine this. An all-hands-on-deck moment just exploded across the entire Pacific, like right now.
Yeah, total scramble mode.
We're talking coastal communities, Japan, Hawaii, all the way down the U.S. West Coast, suddenly getting these urgent warnings.
And the reason?
A massive earthquake.
This-
Massive. 8.7 magnitude struck off the coast of Russia.
Wow.
So our mission, really, in this deep dive is to get you up to speed, get you well-informed quickly on what's happening, the key details, the potential fallout, and, what makes this one so significant globally.
And the initial impact, it's just staggering, isn't it? The scale. Yeah. This isn't some local tremor.
Not at all.
That 8.7, it immediately kicked off tsunami advisories, watches, warnings. Just boom, yeah, across this vast area.
Can you quickly break down what those mean? Advisory, watch, warning.
Sure. An advisory basically means strong currents, potentially dangerous.
Right.
A watch is like, okay, a tsunami is possible, keep an eye out.
Right.
But a warning, that means a dangerous wave is imminent or expected. That's the serious one.
And those warnings went out far. In Japan, obviously.
Yeah, the U.S. Embassy in Tokyo is already telling people, evacuate, get to higher ground.
And Hawaii, too, and the entire U.S. West Coast.
Exactly. A huge stretch of the globe affected.
So 8.7 magnitude. And it was shallow, only about 8 miles deep off Kamchatka, Russia. Hit around 2 a.m. local time there.
Right.
And 8.7. I mean, that number sounds huge, but can you maybe give us a sense of the power? Like, compared to even a big one, say a high 7, what makes 8.7 so different globally?
Yeah, it's a really crucial difference. And look, 8.7 is still preliminary, could change slightly, but if it holds, we're talking maybe top 10 most powerful quakes ever recorded.
Wow. Top 10.
And the thing to remember is the scale, the Richter scale, is logarithmic. So 8.7 isn't just a little bit stronger than, say, an 8.0. It's releasing something like 7 times more energy. It's this exponential jump in power.
7 times. Okay.
And that's why it can send ripples, literally, across entire oceans. We're already seeing reports, social media, of waves pushing into Russia itself, even as the main energy travels out.
And it started off Kamchatka. Now, I think maybe not everyone listening knows exactly where that is. Can you sort of place it for us? Why is its location so important here?
Definitely. So Kamchatka, it's this big peninsula in the Russian Far East. It juts right out into the Pacific Ocean.
Oh.
Geographically, it's kind of like it's sitting right at the gateway to some of the most seismically active parts of the Pacific.
Okay.
So it's perfectly positioned, unfortunately, to send these powerful waves across towards Japan, the Aleutian Islands, Hawaii, and then, eventually the U.S. West Coast. Its location is a huge factor in how fast and wide these warnings had to go out.
And those effects are serious. Japan, they're talking potential 9-foot waves.
That's the forecast, yes. And you've also got tsunami warnings out for the western edge of the Aleutian Islands. They're part of Alaska, south of the mainland, but quite close to the epicenter, relatively speaking.
Right, proximity matters.
And then there's Hawaii, currently under a full tsunami warning. They've confirmed a wave is moving in, expected arrival, just after 7:15 a.m. local time there.
So happening right now, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the guidance there is specific. Emergency management in Oahu is saying, look, if you're in an evacuation zone, you need to get into at least a 10-story building.
A 10-story building.
And get up to the 4th floor or higher. People are moving, actively seeking higher ground as we speak. It shows how seriously they're taking it and how fast the response is.
That's incredibly precise guidance. What are the challenges, though, communicating that kind of urgent instruction, especially when it hits overnight like this did in Russia and maybe catches people off guard?
Oh, it's immensely challenging. The biggest problem is just getting the information out quickly, efficiently, to people who might be asleep or just, not tuned in.
Yeah.
So emergency services, they use everything they've got. Sirens, definitely.
Yeah.
Text alerts, the emergency broadcast system, cutting into TV and radio, social media. It's a layered approach.
Trying to hit people multiple ways.
Exactly. But overnight, you're fighting the clock, you're fighting people being asleep, so the message has to be crystal clear and repeated. Get to higher ground now. That urgency is key to cut through the noise and get people moving.
Okay, so that's Hawaii under a warning. What about the contiguous U.S., the lower 48? The whole West Coast is under a tsunami watch.
Right, a watch, meaning conditions are favorable, be prepared.
And we have potential arrival times for that initial wave energy, right? About 11:40 p.m. Pacific time for Washington and Oregon.
Around then, yes, for the Pacific Northwest.
Then moving south, Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area, looking at maybe 12:30 midnight.
Correct.
and Southern California possibly just after 1 a.m. Pacific time.
Those are the projections. And it's not just the continental U.S.
Yeah.
Remember, Guam, huge U.S. military presence there, is also under a warning.
Right, Wong too.
And another thing, it's not just the one big quake. We've seen significant aftershocks already. A 6.8, a 6.3.
Wow, those are massive earthquakes in their own right.
Absolutely. They really underscore how unstable that area is right now. It's kind of mind-boggling how one event deep under the ocean can just spread out and impact such enormous distances. It really connects things, doesn't it?
It really does. And you mentioned how active that area is. I saw a quote from an Alaska state seismologist talking about a different quake earlier this month, who called this region off Russia, quote, the most active region in the entire world.
Yeah.
Why? What makes this specific spot so incredibly prone to these huge quakes?
Well, that seismologist is spot on. It's a powerful statement, but accurate. This area sits squarely on what we call the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Ah, the Ring of Fire. We hear that term a lot.
You do. It's this huge kind of horseshoe-shaped zone that wraps around the Pacific Ocean. And something like 90% of the world's earthquakes happen along this ring.
90%. Okay.
It's where several of Earth's tectonic plates, these giant slabs of crust, are constantly grinding against each other, colliding. One plate often dives beneath another. That's called subduction. All that friction, that movement, it builds up incredible stress over time. And eventually, that stress gets released, often as a major earthquake. That region off Kamchatka is a prime example of this intense plate interaction.
And you mentioned this could be top 10. Have we seen anything like an 8.7 recently?
Not of this magnitude, 8.7 or greater, no. Not in over a decade, actually. The last time was the big one in Japan, back in 2011.
Tohoku quake, right.
Yeah, so this really underscores how rare and how severe an event like this is.
So the bottom line, the most important message for anyone listening who might be in an area under an advisory, a watch, or especially a warning.
Get to higher ground immediately.
Yeah.
Don't wait, don't hesitate. And especially because these waves, they're often arriving overnight in places like the West Coast.
You won't see it coming easily.
Exactly. This isn't like a storm surge you can track visually from afar.
That's a really critical point, the sort of unseen nature of these waves. Why is that? Why are tsunamis so hard to spot, especially in the dark?
Yeah, it's deceptive. See, unlike regular ocean waves made by wind, a tsunami is caused by a massive displacement of water, like the seafloor suddenly shifting in the quake.
Okay.
Out in the deep ocean, this wave travels incredibly fast. We're talking jet plane speeds, maybe 500 miles an hour. And this is the key part, its height out there might only be a foot or two.
So you wouldn't even notice it on a ship?
Pretty much. You could sail right over it and have no idea. But as it hits shallower water near the coast, all that energy starts to compress. The wave slows down, but it piles up, building height dramatically.
Ah, so it grows as it gets closer.
Exactly. So by the time you actually see a towering wall of water, you might only have moments before it hits land. And at night, without any visual cues, that danger is magnified hugely.
So people really just have hours, maybe less, to get significantly higher up.
That's the reality. You have to trust the warnings. Start moving now and, call people, call friends, relatives in those zones, make sure they're aware, make sure they're moving too.
Absolutely. So as we're wrapping up, but still watching this unfold, the key takeaway remains. The threat is real. The waves are traveling. Listen to those emergency directives.
Heed the warnings.
Especially with that overnight arrival, you likely won't see it coming. Getting to higher ground is it's the essential survival action right now.
It really is. And, it makes you think, doesn't it, about the sheer power, often unseen, just building up under the Earth's surface.
Yeah.
How activity in what's called the most active region in the entire world off Russia can trigger immediate, dangerous consequences thousands of miles away across vast oceans.
It really drives home how interconnected everything is on our planet.
Completely. And it's just such a powerful reminder, maybe a stark one right now, of why we constantly need to be aware, be prepared, how quickly things can change.